Here is a fact that changes how you think about cancer prevention. Every tumor, no matter how aggressive, starts out the same way. Small, harmless, and starving for blood. It cannot grow larger than the tip of a pencil without creating its own blood supply. That process is called angiogenesis. For years, the pharmaceutical industry has spent billions trying to develop drugs that block angiogenesis. But here is what the research has also revealed. Your kitchen is already stocked with foods that naturally inhibit the growth of new blood vessels to microscopic cancers. Foods that help keep tumors in a dormant, harmless state. The problem? Most people are destroying those exact compounds before they ever swallow them. I am Dr. William. For over 15 years, I have studied the molecular mechanisms by which food interacts with human biology. Specifically, I have focused on how the bioactive compounds in everyday foods can activate your body's own defense systems, including anti-angiogenesis. Today, I am going to show you 5 foods that are proven to inhibit angiogenesis, and I'm going to show you exactly how millions of people are accidentally cooking those benefits away. If you drink green tea, eat tomatoes, cook with mushrooms, consume soy, or enjoy berries, you need to hear this. The cancer-fighting compound in your food is real, but it is also fragile. Let me give you a 60-second framework so the rest of this video makes sense. Your body is constantly forming new blood vessels. It is normal. You need them for wound healing, for tissue repair, and for delivering oxygen. But cancer hijacks this process. A microscopic tumor releases signals that trick your body into building a private blood supply. Once those vessels connect, the tumor has access to nutrients and oxygen. It can grow, it can spread. Angiogenesis inhibitors are compounds that block those signals. They do not poison the cancer directly, they simply starve it. Nature has provided a remarkable number of these compounds: EGCG in green tea, lycopene in tomatoes, beta-glucans and L-ergothioneine in mushrooms, genistein in soy, ellagic acid and anthocyanins in berries. These are not supplements. They are not exotic extracts. They are sitting in your refrigerator right now. But they are heat-sensitive, pH-sensitive, and easily degraded by improper cooking, storage, and reheating. Let me show you the 5 foods, and then I will show you the exact mistakes that neutralize them. Food number 1, green tea. Let us start with one of the most powerful anti-angiogenic beverages on earth, green tea. The compound you are after is EGCG, or epigallocatechin galate. It is a catechin, a type of polyphenol, and it is one of the most studied natural angiogenesis inhibitors in the scientific literature. Research published in Cancer Research and Journal of the National Cancer Institute has demonstrated that EGCG can inhibit vascular endothelial growth factor, or VEGF, the primary signaling molecule that tumors use to recruit new blood vessels. EGCG is also a potent antioxidant. It modulates inflammation. It supports cellular repair, but it is extraordinarily fragile. The cooking mistake: using boiling water. EGCG degrades rapidly at temperatures above 175 degrees Fahrenheit, or roughly 80 degrees Celsius. When you pour boiling water, 212 degrees Fahrenheit, directly onto green tea leaves, you are not extracting maximum benefit. You are thermally destroying the most valuable molecule in the leaf. The second mistake is reheating. If you brew a pot of green tea and leave it on a warming plate, or if you microwave yesterday's cold tea, the prolonged heat exposure continues to break down catechins. By the time you drink reheated green tea, the EGCG content has plummeted. What to do instead? Heat your water to 160 to 175 degrees Fahrenheit. Let it cool for 30 seconds after boiling before pouring. Steep for 2 to 3 minutes, not 10. Long steeping does not extract more EGCG. It extracts more tannins, which taste bitter and can irritate the stomach. And do not reheat brewed green tea. Drink it fresh. If you must prepare it ahead, cold brew it in the refrigerator overnight. Cold extraction preserves catechins beautifully. Food number 2, tomatoes. Tomatoes are the poster child for anti-angiogenic food science, and the compound responsible is lycopene. Lycopene is a carotenoid. It gives tomatoes their red color, and it has been shown in multiple studies to inhibit angiogenesis, reduce prostate cancer progression, and protect endothelial cells from oxidative damage. But lycopene has a paradoxical relationship with heat. I told you earlier that cooking tomatoes increases lycopene bioavailability. That is true. But here is the mistake most people make. They cook tomatoes without fat, and then they reheat the sauce repeatedly at high temperatures. Lycopene is fat-soluble. Without a lipid carrier, olive oil, avocado, even a small amount of butter, your body absorbs almost none of it. A study in the British Journal of Nutrition found that tomato sauce consumed with olive oil increased lycopene absorption by over 300% compared to raw tomatoes eaten alone. The second mistake is repeated high-heat reheating. If you are making a large batch of marinara and reheating it 3 or 4 times over the week, the prolonged heat exposure begins to degrade the lycopene. It also promotes the breakdown of vitamin C and other heat-sensitive antioxidants in the tomato matrix. What to do instead? Cook your tomatoes with a source of healthy fat. Olive oil is ideal. Add it during the cooking process, not just at the end. And when you store leftover tomato sauce, do not keep reheating the entire batch. Portion it before refrigerating. Reheat only what you will eat, once, gently. Better yet, freeze individual portions. Freezing arrests the degradation process. Food number 3, mushrooms. Mushrooms are one of the most underrated anti-angiogenic foods in the grocery store. They contain a unique antioxidant called L-ergothioneine, which is not found in significant amounts in any other common food. L-ergothioneine is transported directly into the cells of your blood vessels, where it protects against oxidative stress and inflammation. Mushrooms also contain beta-glucans, which modulate immune function and have been shown to inhibit angiogenesis in tumor models. But the cooking mistake here is twofold. First, many people eat mushrooms raw or barely cooked because they believe cooking destroys nutrients. With mushrooms, the opposite is true. Their cell walls are composed of chitin, a tough, indigestible fiber. Your body cannot break down chitin effectively. When you eat raw mushrooms, you absorb very little of the ergothioneine or beta-glucans because they are locked inside those rigid walls. The second mistake is boiling or soaking mushrooms in water. Water-soluble compounds leach out. The flavorful and bioactive compounds end up in the cooking water, which is often poured down the drain. What to do instead? Sauté mushrooms. Dry heat with a small amount of fat breaks down the chitin walls and releases the ergothioneine without washing it away. Cooking them in a pan with olive oil or butter for 5 to 7 minutes maximizes bioavailability. And avoid reheating mushroom dishes in the microwave repeatedly. The high, uneven heat can further degrade the beta-glucans. If you have leftover mushrooms, eat them cold in a salad or reheat them gently in a pan with a splash of broth. Food number 4, soy. Soy is controversial in some circles, but from a biochemical perspective, it is one of the most interesting anti-angiogenic foods available. The compound you want is genistein, an isoflavone. Genistein has been shown to inhibit the tyrosine kinase signaling pathways that tumors use to stimulate angiogenesis. It also has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Research in Cancer Research and the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition has associated dietary soy intake with reduced risk of hormone-related cancers. But here is the mistake. Most people consume soy in highly processed, overheated forms. Tofu that has been deep fried, soy protein isolates that have been subjected to high temperature extrusion, or soy milk that has been ultra high temperature pasteurized and then boiled again at home. These processes severely degrade genistein and other isoflavones. The thermal destruction point for genistein is around 250 degrees Fahrenheit, but repeated heating and industrial processing create cumulative damage. Furthermore, when soy is overheated with high heat methods like deep frying, you are not just losing genistein. You are creating oxidized lipids in the frying oil, which can generate inflammatory byproducts that counteract the very anti-inflammatory benefits you are seeking. What to do instead? Choose minimally processed soy, edamame, tempeh, or lightly cooked tofu. Steam or simmer tofu rather than deep frying it. If you drink soy milk, buy refrigerated varieties that use lower temperature pasteurization rather than shelf-stable UHT cartons, and do not reheat soy-based dishes multiple times. Tempeh in particular retains its isoflavone content well with gentle warming, but repeated microwave blasts degrade the active compounds. Food number 5. Berries. Berries. Strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, and blueberries are among the most potent anti-angiogenic fruits on Earth. They are rich in ellagic acid, which inhibits the activation of VEGF receptors on endothelial cells. They are also loaded with anthocyanins, the pigments that give berries their deep red and blue colors. Anthocyanins have been shown to reduce angiogenesis in laboratory models of breast cancer and colon cancer. A study in Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that berry extracts significantly reduced capillary tube formation in vitro, a direct marker of angiogenic activity. But berries are perhaps the most fragile food on this list. The cooking mistake, baking them into oblivion. When you bake blueberries into muffins, or when you make raspberry jam and process it at high heat for extended periods, the anthocyanins begin to break down at around 175 to 190 degrees Fahrenheit. Ellagic acid is more stable, but it degrades under prolonged heat and alkaline conditions. By the time a berry has been subjected to 350-degree oven heat for 30 minutes inside a pastry, a significant portion of its anti-angiogenic value has been destroyed. Reheating berry compotes or jams is equally damaging. Each reheating cycle further oxidizes the delicate polyphenols. What to do instead? Eat berries raw. Freeze them. Freezing actually preserves anthocyanins remarkably well, and in some cases, the ice crystal formation breaks down cell walls, making the compounds slightly more bioavailable when you thaw and eat them. If you want warm berries, do not bake them. Warm them gently in a saucepan over low heat for 2 minutes, just until soft. Add them to oatmeal after cooking, not during. And never microwave frozen berries on high power. The uneven heating destroys the polyphenol structure. Look at the pattern across these 5 foods. Green tea, destroyed by boiling water and reheating. Tomatoes, degraded by repeated high heat reheating without fat. Mushrooms, locked away by raw consumption, leached away by boiling. Soy, annihilated by industrial processing and deep frying. Berries, oxidized by baking and prolonged heat. The enemy is not the food. The enemy is aggressive, careless, repeated heat. Angiogenesis inhibiting compounds are, by their nature, reactive. They are antioxidants. They are polyphenols. They are pigments. Reactivity is what makes them biologically active. But reactivity also makes them vulnerable to thermal degradation, oxidation, and pH changes. Your mission is simple. Deliver these compounds to your body intact. Here is exactly what I want you to do with this information. 1. Brew green tea with water between 160 and 175 degrees Fahrenheit. Use a thermometer if needed. Do not reheat brewed tea. Cold brew for maximum preservation. 2. Cook tomatoes with fat, always. Olive oil is best. Portion your sauce before storing so you only reheat once. Freeze what you will not eat within 2 days. 3. Cook mushrooms thoroughly. Sauté, do not boil. Use a small amount of fat. Eat leftover mushrooms cold or reheat gently once in a pan. 4. Choose minimally processed soy, steam or simmer tofu. Avoid deep-fried soy products and ultra-processed isolates. Reheat soy dishes once, gently. 5. Eat berries raw or frozen. Add them to hot dishes after cooking. If warming, use low heat for a short time. Never microwave berries on high. 6. 1 cook, 1 reheat. This is the golden rule for all 5 foods. Repeated thermal cycling is the fastest way to destroy bioactive compounds. Cancer prevention is not about miracle pills. It is about daily decisions. The compounds that inhibit angiogenesis are not rare. They are in your kitchen. But nature does not make these compounds indestructible. They require a little respect, a little knowledge, a gentler hand with the heat. You now know that the green tea you drink, the tomato sauce you make, the mushrooms you sauté, the soy you choose, and the berries you eat are doing more than just feeding you. They are sending molecular signals into your bloodstream. Signals that say, do not build new blood vessels for tumors. Do not destroy those signals with boiling water, deep fryers, and repeated reheating. Your body has a remarkable capacity to defend itself. Give it the tools it needs in their active, intact form. If you found this evidence-based approach valuable, subscribe. I publish 1 video every week translating the science of food and disease prevention into practical, actionable knowledge. Before I go, let me ask you, which of these 5 foods do you eat most often? And which cooking mistake have you been making without realizing it? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. I am Dr. William. Thank you for watching. Protect your health with knowledge. I will see you in the next video.